one of the most well-read persons I know. I feel like you read a lot of books. Is this like a true statement?
Yes.
Right? Like how many books you read a year, more or less?
I'd go with a solid 80 to 150.
Wow.
Maybe?
Yeah, that's like, for me, that's a lot. Like I read like up to, I don't know, like 10 books a year. And for me, this feels like a lot. I'm not a very well-read person. So my question to you is
50 to 100. Sorry. I think I exaggerated.
This is still a lot.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Especially in an age that it's not so common to read, right? Like it's not as popular as it used to. So I have a question. Like you can answer however you'd like. Like this is like a stupid question, but like find a smart way to answer it. Tell us about your favorite book.
Okay, I'm going to ask ChatGPT for a smart way to answer it. No. So it's always very hard for me to answer this question, and I always just find myself talking about the last book that I read that somehow resonated with me. Okay, so I want to talk about a book which, unfortunately, I don't know anybody who has read yet, except for me. It is a book called The Septology, and it is by a Norwegian writer called Jon Fosse. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature this year.
Oh, wow, okay.
And wow, this book was just unforgettable. It is an extremely simple book. The language is very, very, very easy and simple. Whenever people talk in this book, you always have the feeling that they're only scratching the surface of what they want to express. And he's always at the same time, he's always emphasizing how important it is to talk, even though you can't say anything of significance. So, I mean, one of the main characters in this book are basically the only... I'll start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So this book is 7 short novellas, which each start and finish the same way. They start with a painter who is looking at a painting he painted of, he calls it a St. Andrew's cross. It's this cross which is just an X. And he draws it, I think, in purple and in brown. So one line is purple, one line is brown, and the two colors are blending into each other. And every book starts with him looking at this picture and being unsatisfied with it. And there is this kind of like, you know... What could we call this? An overplot in which it is basically 3 days in the life of this painter who he is very much a recluse. He lives alone in this small village in Norway, and he is going to visit his friend who is also a painter who has the same name as he does. And basically, you could say that he and this other painter are the same person, but he is the best possible version of this person, and the other is the worst possible version of this person. So the other is an alcoholic, and he is a former alcoholic who, you know, found the love of his life and lost
Jesus.
her. And also found Jesus.
He also found Jesus. Okay,
yes.
okay.
He is deeply religious.
Okay.
And he feels this kind of deep responsibility towards his friend / alter ego. And so he goes to visit him and finds him basically passed out in the snow outside of his house, about to die. And he hospitalizes him. And so basically, this whole series of books is just 3 days in his life in which he is going about his daily errands, kind of visiting some figures in his present life, thinking about all of the things that happened up until now. It is a very minimalist book. Not much happens. And one of the characters is his neighbor, who is the most annoying person. And they have this really very like groggy dynamic where like
Groggy.
I'd say that like every sentence the neighbor says, he's like, oh, I've heard that sentence so many times. I am so sick of hearing this. But like you really feel that there's a lot of intimacy between the two of them. And there's something very sweet about this, that it also feels a bit like, I think, like kind of Samuel Beckett's, his kind of, his, I don't know what to call it, his perspective that like, I can't go on, I'll go on. This kind of thing. Like, what we have is constantly not enough, but we have to work with it. We have nothing else to work with. And this book, it's just so, such a wonderful place to live in while it's going on. Like this place where you don't have to be smart all the time. I mean, everything you're going to say is not going to be smart, but still you're going to have decent human interactions, and you're going to become attached to people, and you're going to love people, even though they aren't going to say the most brilliant thing all the time. It's just this very, very unjudgmental space where you feel a lot of empathy for every character that he meets in his life, and also I think that the way that he portrays art, that he talks about art, this painter, he's talking, I think he's also talking about art as always coming from some kind of an inner trauma. He kind of describes it as like this painting, this picture that gets just like engraved into his head, where he sees this person suffering and then he can't forget this person, and the only thing he can do about it is let it out by painting it. Sounds a bit like your dad, maybe, in a sense. And yeah. So, really beautiful book, and I am looking forward to meeting somebody who has read it and talking about it.
I mean, do you have a copy?
Not yet. I need to buy one.
Okay.
I will.
If you get a copy, I would love to borrow it.
Okay.
And then I'll be the second person who
With
reads
pleasure.
this book.
Cool. Yeah. Do I have anything else to say about this book? I think it's also a book that gives me a lot of respect for what religion can be in people's lives. It really kind of, the narrator, the protagonist, he is deeply religious, or maybe just he's like a lost person who found, he found what he was looking for in religion. And like, so I talked about how every book starts.
Yeah.
Every book ends with him praying. A prayer in Latin. I think inhaling in and saying Jesus, inhaling out and saying Christ, inhaling in and saying Jesus. And just this whole cyclicality. I think it's very life. I mean, for me, I see my life as a spiral. I'm constantly coming back to things from a slightly bit different perspective, and I think this book is very spiralic.
Yeah. I mean, I think people need rituals. People need grounding to make sense out of this chaotic universe, which I would argue becomes increasingly chaotic due to the proliferation of knowledge.
Definitely.
And I do understand, I do appreciate as well the rituals that come with religion. And I wish a secular society would find an acceptable way to replace these rituals with anything that is not consumerism.
Yeah, well said. With anything that's meaningless, but from the creative, personal point of view, maybe something like that. It's meaningless because I decide that it's meaningless, and not because anybody else decides for me that it's meaningful. Something like that. I don't know. A bit like the deconstruction of wordplay. I mean. Yeah, that deconstructing can be a deeply personal act, even though it's meaningless in the sense that it's not functional.
Yeah. So we can drink to Finding Meaning in the Meaningless.
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. Great movie, by the way.
Yeah.